Hello, everyone. Welcome back to First Listen Media. Today I'm here with Taylor from Left to Suffer. What's up, man?
What's poppin'? What's poppin'? How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Another day in paradise, bro. You know what they say.
Hell yeah. Tell me, where did Left to Suffer begin?
Uh, that's a story. So Peter and Jacob were in this band called Lost at Last way back in the day, probably about 4 years ago. And I was in another local band, and our bass player Christian was also in another local band. And we all kind of like met through local shows and stuff. And so then we ended up like, all piecing together, coming together. We were Lost at Last for about a year or two. And then we met our manager, Jeff, which is, the man. And he was like, you need to change your name. We all started writing music together that was like decent. You know what I mean? We were like, hell yeah. So we wrote Burden and Lost at Last and Just for Now. And then we changed our name to Left to Suffer. And then the rest is history after that. You know what I mean? Like that was like the watered down story. I could have gone into like hella specifics, but like I mean, at the end of the day, we just kind of all, met up, we vibed, and then we wrote cool music together. You know what I mean? We became my brothers. So, it's fucking rad.
Nice. I love that. Like when you meet the right people, the music just flows naturally.
Yeah, man. It's been like I'm writing right now. Like literally, I'm at my house and uh, I like walked out here to do this while we were writing a song. So
Oh, nice. All right. So I know you mentioned the name change. What inspired the name change? Like what inspired the name Left to Suffer?
So, my like take, I mean, it's kind of like up for interpretation, but like my taking of the name is like we all, at one point in our lives are down in our luck. You know what I mean? Like when I was first starting in Lost at Last before our name change, I was homeless and I was like living at a motel, like kind of just transitioned out of like living out of my car, and I felt pretty left to suffer. You know what I mean? Like just by everything in life, and it was just kind of a it's like a spark, you know what I mean? So it's basically like acknowledging the bad, like when you're left to suffer and like being able to like overcome those differences and like just be a badass motherfucker when you want to, you know what I mean? Like it's just kind of it's a constant grind, and that's just like it's a constant reminder for me.
Yeah, I feel that. Like everyone suffers with something, and being able to overcome it is something that you want to take pride in because a lot of people don't get that far, unfortunately.
Yep.
How would you describe your music?
In what way?
Like message, meaning.
So I mean, all of our songs pretty much are different because I write about a bunch of just like different things that either I'm dealing with at the time or I've dealt with in prior situations. And I mean, it's all pissed. You know what I mean? Like all of our music is just pissed off because I mean, it's just like they write really anger inducing riffs. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like whenever I go and I sit down to write like my vocal parts and stuff, it becomes like it's like a therapy moment for me, like every time I go into write, it's like, what am I dealing with or what do I want to write about that I've dealt with in the past that can like, I can get off my chest, and it's like our whole last EP was about like the grieving process, right? So it's like, I, have been through several different things in my life that have just like fucked me up. And then it's kind of just like acknowledging those demons and like you can be pissed at them, but also like, using an outlet like music, it's like I'm able to get it out in like a healthy way and not like lashing out at the people around me or like whatever. It's just acknowledging inner demons, dude. That's all our music is. It's just acknowledgement of your own faults and like being able to just like deal with it.
Dude, I live for that kind of music because that music is honestly some of the most helpful and the most powerful for people who are suffering like on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
Which is why I've been a big fan of Let the Suffer since I found you guys.
Hell yeah.
My next question is, how did DNR come together? And what was it like working with Ricky and Will?
Okay, so Ricky and Will are my homies, dude. I've been friends with them for a minute. We went on a little tour with Lorna Shore, which brought us closer. So, I mean, that was pretty easy working with both of them because before we even did the song, I was already friends with them. You know what I mean? So, whenever we went into the studio, I remember like the day we went in to write that song, or like we went in to write a song and it turned into DNR. And we like went in there and we were like, damn, dude, like, we just want to write something heavy. You know, we were just like, fuck it. We're just going to write a heavy ass song. Wrote DNR. And then we had it, all my vocals were on the whole song. We were like, whatever, we weren't going to have a feature on it. And then I was like, Ricky, do you want to be on the end of it? He was like, fuck yeah. So he put his feature on. And then we went on that run with Lorna Shore. And then we became really close with Will and all of Lorna Shore. Like, those are our homies. Like, fucking would die for those dudes. And after that, like, me and Will talk pretty much all the time. And then I was like, just one day, I was like, yo, would you want to like feature on a Left to Suffer song? And he was like, fuck yeah. So I sent him DNR. I was like, fuck it, Will, like, Ricky's already on this. Like, do you want to just throw your vocals on this? And he was like, yeah. So I was like, sick. And then so we threw it to him. And it just kind of like fell together. And like both of them are just really awesome dudes. So it was just like, it was super easy and very straightforward and not really complicated whatsoever because they're just awesome. So I'm sorry, there's a truck passing.
You're fine. Dude, that's like one of my favorite songs by you guys. So I loved hearing that.
That song is fun to play live. It's the hardest one we have, though.
What was the lyrical inspiration for that one?
So DNR is basically about, this sounds like really shitty, but like it's basically about like, you know, you're at the end of your rope, right? And it's like you're just kind of like done and you don't want anyone to save you. So like the whole song is just like a pit of despair. You know what I mean? It's all just like, nah, man, like I'm done. Like I don't want to deal with this like pain anymore. So like the whole thing is just like, you know, the DNR stands for do not resuscitate, right? So it's like, you know, you just want to fucking kind of fade out and like you don't really want any help.
Yeah. Honestly, I've been on that road before, so hearing that that's the reason for DNR, fucking hell, makes me love the song a lot more. To be honest,
yeah. It's a banger, man.
Oh, it is. Oh my god, funny story. I was blasting that like 3 a.m. because I was home by myself. Everyone was gone, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I just hooked up my speakers. Like I have big ass speakers behind me, and I just hooked those up. And we're like, let's do it.
Fuck yeah, that's beast.
So how was that tour you guys went on recently?
With Body Snatcher, man, that shit was crazy, dude. That was like definitely like one of the best like months and a half of like my entire life, dude. Like it was like our first like real taste of being out there and seeing people react to our music and like all across America, because like that was our first full US tour, right? And so like we were playing in these cities that we had never played in before, and like, you know, Anger and Loathe obviously are like our two biggest songs, and people were just like knowing all the words to it and shit. And it was just like so mind-boggling that like I'm like literally a complete day away on the opposite side of the country from my house, and like people are just fucking going crazy. Like, dude, Sacramento was one of the best dates, and that is on smack dab literally the other side of the country. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just crazy how that even works. Like, it's just hard for me to wrap my mind around that shit sometimes, and it just happens. And like people are just screaming that like one line, the "fuck your God and his only son" line, right? And then it's just like, whoa, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like all of these people are chanting that shit at you all at once. It's just like, geez, dude, this is crazy.
I wish I made the show in Hartford. I'm so mad I wasn't able to get to it. Dude, like I found out, I literally found out the day of, but I'm like, shit.
Dude, both times we played in Hartford, because we played in Hartford with Lorna Shore and Last 10 at the Webster, but in the big room. And then on that Body Snatcher tour, we oversold the small room. So it was like jam-packed, like wall to wall. Like it was just not, it was fucked up, like how crazy that fucking show was.
I know. I wish I could have made it.
Yeah, dude.
Maybe
next year. Missed out on a banger.
Maybe next year.
For sure, yeah. We'll be on the road again.
What's it like going on the road? Do you have any funny stories from your travels?
I mean, every day is a funny story, dude. It's like you're basically just waking up in random ass cities or kind of just vibing with your best friends, dude. Like it's all just kind of like a whole fever dream. Like once you get home, you're like, whoa, did that even happen? But like, yeah, I mean, I don't really know like any specific funny stories, because like there's just like touring with Boundaries. and Body Snatcher and Mouth for War was just like always a good time. So we were always just goofing off and like fucking having fun and shit. It was just kind of like, there's just too many to even think of one right now, to be honest with you, because it's overwhelming to even think about.
That's great. Oh man. Well, all I gotta say is next time I'm definitely going to one of your shows if I find out soon enough.
Yeah, bro, come through, man. They're a vibe for sure. Our shows get crazy, so.
Dude, I love those kind of shows. I'm just so mad I found out the day of, and it was like an hour before. I'm like, are you kidding? So I literally found out right before you guys were getting on stage, and I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, that sucks.
I know, it sucks so bad.
I'm sorry, man.
It's all right. Hey, next time I'll definitely make it for sure.
Absolutely, bro. We'll be back. We love Hartford. The place is rad.
Yeah, there's a lot of good venues here.
Oh, yeah.
All right. My next question is, who would you love to collaborate with? I already know you worked with Lorna Shore and of Sulfur. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah, of Sulfur. So, man, we've already had so many features because like we had Tom Barber on a song. We had Lockie from Alpha Wolf on a song, Rio from Crystal Lake on a song. Just trying to think of like anyone. I mean, like Phil Bozeman, Darius from Spite, Jonathan Davis from Korn, fucking Limp Bizkit. You know what I mean? Like whatever. You know, just like things that are just kind of irrationally big that are like hard to think about. Like, you know, stuff like that would be sick. But yeah, I mean, dreams for sure. Like Fred Durst, Jonathan Davis, like fucking anything of that nature, because we're all like huge new metal fans. Like my whole band is just new metal fans. So
yeah, I love Korn, man.
Dude, same. We are literally just deathcore Korn. We're death Korn, dude.
Yes, my man.
Yeah, man, it's beast.
Dude, that's great. I want to see them live so badly. Like that'd be great.
It's so good.
Yeah, ever since the pandemic, it's been a bitch trying to go to shows.
Yeah, I get it, dude.
Like venues here just started reopening, and I'm like, holy crap.
Yep.
Took a while, huh? Yeah. All right. What is the best piece of advice you could give to your fellow musicians and your listeners?
Man, I say this shit on stage sometimes, man. It's like, man, music or anything in life that's like worth fighting for is you have to fight for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you have to constantly like just all the time be overcoming the odds, because like nothing that's like being like in the music industry or like being a doctor or being a fucking lawyer or whatever the fuck you want to do. If you want to be a fucking garbage guy, you know what I mean? Like whatever. Like be the best garbage guy you can be. You know what I mean? Like there's no point of doing anything half-assed. So if you're going to do something, to do it to the fullest of your abilities and like rely on the people around you. Don't think that you know everything, because the second that you close your ears, you will never learn another thing a day in your life, you know? Because if you think you know everything, there's no space for you to learn anything, you know, because like you're just automatically throwing out the brain power to even learn anything. So it's like you have to constantly be evolving and just, you know, it's an uphill battle, dude. There's no end to it either. Even like people who are in like, you know, like Billie Eilish and Bring Me the Horizon and fucking all these huge like acts that are just like, you think that they're massive, they're still grinding all the time. You know what I mean? They're not just sitting at their house and like, oh, whatever, like, well, you know, it is what it is. Like their lives are constant, like doing something, you know what I mean, that involves their job. And if you want it to be a job, you have to treat it like a job, you know?
Yeah.
It's a harsh reality, you know. A lot of people don't want to hear that it's hard and that they have to like work for it. It's just like nothing ever is going to be handed to you, you know?
Of course. Honestly, the things that are the most easiest to obtain in life are usually never worth the time. The things you got to work for are always worth it.
Yep. Because it's just like, is that more gratifying at the end of the day? Because like, I mean, bro, if you have like a fucking donut right in front of you, like, and you have to like go through all of these trials and tribulations to eat that donut, once you get to that donut, it's going to be that much more delicious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instead of just walking up to it, you're like, oh, cool, a donut, you enjoy it in the moment, and then you never think about it again. But like in the end, after you do all of this shit to get to that donut, you're like, oh, okay, cool, eat the donut. Then you're like, damn, I really worked for that bitch, dude. Like that shit was dope, you know?
Yes.
Same thing, small scale.
I love that answer. My second to last question is, what is next for Love to Suffer?
What's not next, bro? We're doing everything all the time. You know what I mean? Like, we're confirming show. We just announced a huge festival. We are constantly writing. Like, I'm still doing that right now. You know what I mean? And we have a whole grouping of music that we're currently releasing, and we're already writing for the next release. You know what I mean? So it's like I said, it's a constant grind, and we're going to be touring and we're going to be releasing music, and that's just like, you're going to constantly be seeing Left to Suffer. You know, we're going to put that shit in your face till y'all are sick of it.
I'm never going to get sick of it. So I cannot wait to see what's next.
A lot of people, man. A lot of people want more, which is cool, which we're going to keep giving them more, man.
I look forward to that. I am
hell yeah. I do too, because releasing music is like fucking crack to me.
Yeah. My final question of the evening is, do you have any questions for me?
Nah, man. I mean, I appreciate you fucking having me on your little podcast thing, man. It's been fucking really rad. I appreciate the patience, and I appreciate while I deal with all of my things that I have constantly going on in my life, because it's just like a constant, ever evolving wheel of shit that I have to deal with. So it is what it is. I appreciate it.
This was worth the wait.
Hell yeah.
This was the trials to get to that donut.
Yeah, bro. Facts, dude. You gotta fucking put in that legwork, man. I feel you.
Definitely. And thank you again for being here. This has been great. Because honestly, music like this is why I'm alive. It's why I started this little podcast. Because like metal got me out of a very deep suicidal depression. And as soon as I recovered, I just wanted to help bands. So I started this up. I went in blind, and I'm still going like full steam ahead.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's just how it works, dude. You gotta fucking give back to what gives to you, you know?
Exactly. And that's why I do not regret this at all. I love doing these. You meet some amazing fucking people.
Dude, facts, man. I mean, that's just the same thing with music, bro. Like, I'm constantly meeting people that I've looked up to, or like people that are just awesome individuals that I get to meet. And I'm like, wow, dude, you're fucking awesome. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a cool community, man. It's a good fucking time. Metal has definitely saved my life on more than one occasion as well. So I understand where you're coming from.
Thank you for your kind words, and thank you for being here. This is
no problem at all, man.
I'm going to wrap this up. You have a wonderful day, and I hope to see new content soon.
You will, bro. Promise.